to create a Google Cloud assignment in your Canvas course. A Google Cloud assignment is different than a regular Google Doc, and I will show you how. I'll just pick one of my courses and go in here. And then if I look at a regular Google Doc, and I only have some of them, but if I look at one Google Doc, here's the directions for a field trip assignment. And then here's the Google Doc that the students can open. You can see that it takes a second for it to open in a new screen. And here I can't show you this because I'm in my own account and I can't access a student's Google Drive to show you this. But normally the students have to come up to File, then make a copy, then they make a copy for themselves and they write on it, and then they come back into Canvas and submit it here. So that's the method that was available previous, and most teachers are using that method for their Google Docs. So I want to show you a new way, a better way to make a Google Doc, and that is using Google Cloud assignments. So here you can see that I added an assignment like this, and when the students click on it, it will take them to a new window, and the Google assignment is already added to the student's Google Drive. So they don't need to go to File and then make a copy. And at the top of their lab, instead of Share, it'll say Submit. So they can directly edit on this without making a copy, which is confusing for kids, and they can directly submit it. And if you have the settings selected right, the students can continually work on this, and the teacher doesn't have access until it's submitted. And you can also make it possible for the students to unsubmit, make changes and resubmit, or you can have it so that they can only submit it once. And that's up to you and how you create the settings. So in order to do this, and it makes everything a lot more user-friendly and easier for the students, so they're not like having to do that File, make a copy. You come here and you create an assignment, and then I'm going to say a demo lab, and I'm going to add that item. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start editing it, and I'm going to hit the edit button. Then I'm going to give the assignment a description. As usual, you always want to have that. Most of my assignments are 100 points to keep it easy for me. And then I'm going to go down and add this to labs, and I like it displayed as points. I'm going to, instead of no submission, we're going to click on external tool here, and here we're going to scroll down to a Google Drive assignment. This is going to link directly to my own Google Drive. So I'm going to write the weathering and erosion lab. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find it. And I'm noticing right now the date was on Christmas, and I think that's a little sad. I was editing that day, but then I'm going to hit submit. So I'm going to select, and then I always like to load the assignment in a new tab so that their Canvas doesn't get closed, so that they can toggle between the two. Here's on the attempts, I allow unlimited because once it gets to the due date, it locks them out anyways in my class. So I don't care if they want to go back and re-edit until the due date. That doesn't bother me. But if you wanted just one submission, you would want to limit that and write how many attempts. Then I'm going to pick a due date, and then I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to save and publish it. And for this one, I'm going to cancel because I don't want the students to see this. But normally you would save it and publish it for the students to see. From there, I already created the assignment here, so you've already seen what this looks like for the students, where it opens in a new tab, and they have the assignment here. I did mention earlier that the submit button is up here, and if a student is ever confused whether or not they submitted it, not only does it list it on Canvas for them and show that they submitted it there in the gradebook with like a piece of paper, but it'll also, once the student submit it, list a date and a time that they submitted it to the teacher here. So they'll have 2 copies of that. If a student wants to get back into it, they would just click on it again through Canvas, and they could click, now it will say unsubmit, and they can unsubmit it, work on it again, and click and submit again. So I hope that helps you guys in setting up live assignments for your students.